Payne, who is a senior scholar at the First Amendment Center in Arlington, Virginia. The irony is that we claim to be fighting for freedom. The reality is that at home, we often show how sometimes superficial our commitment is to the very principles we're defending. And as you guys hear that quote, I would like you guys to refer back to it as you follow us throughout our debate. Our claim is that the Patriot Act should be modified to reduce the power of the government. Our significant claim is the current policy is inadequate because it violates people's privacy. Section 206 states that the FBI in an intelligence investigation can obtain a court order to intercept an individual's communications without specifying the particular phone line or computer account to which the interception will apply. The FBI can continue to intercept the individual's communications without having to return to court for a new order covering each new phone line or computer. James Dempsey, who is Executive Director at the Center for Democracy and Technology, said, "The roving tap authority, which was added in a somewhat careless fashion, does not require roving taps to specifically identify the target of the surveillance. Thus, if neither the identity nor the facilities are known, the order could be issued with only a general description of the individual to be tapped. They pose the risk of intercepting the communications of innocent persons." In Section 203, which authorizes the sharing of foreign intelligence information gathered in criminal investigations with certain federal officials. Critics at NPR.org say that the investigators should have to explain why information is being shared, and that only information related to terrorism or espionage should be released. They warn that unrestricted sharing could lead to the development of massive databases about innocent citizens. Timothy Lynch, who's the director of Cato Institute's Project on Criminal Justice, said, "Financial privacy is essentially gone. The feds have turned banks, brokerage houses, insurers, and other financial institutions into state informers. Those firms must notify the Treasury Department about suspicious transactions, and the government can subpoena your checking account records even if there is no evidence of wrongdoing." Our inherency claim is the policy is flawed because of the government's misinterpretation of the law. Kate Martin, who has been director of the Center for National Security Studies since 1992, said, "While effective counterterrorism requires that agencies share relevant information, congressional efforts have uniformly failed to address the real difficulties in such sharing, which include how to determine what information is useful for counterterrorism, how to determine what information would be useful if shared, how to identify whom it would be useful to share it with, and how to ensure that useful and relevant information is timely recognized and acted upon." In the pre-11 intelligence failures, the failures resulted from the FBI and the CIA failing to know what it knew. For example, while lower-level FBI agents had important information about al-Qaeda associates in the United States that they shared with the headquarters, the higher-ups failed to understand the significance of the information, much less act on it. Similarly, the CIA knew for almost 2 years about the U.S. visa issued to an al-Qaeda suspect who would hijack the plane on September 11th, but failed to inform the FBI or appreciate the importance of the information. Again, several libertarians say the failure to share information was largely a result of incompetence and misunderstanding of the law. They say investigators were always allowed to share grand jury information. They say, which specifically is authorized by the section. They warn that the scope of the Patriot Act language is far too broad and encourages unlimited sharing of information regardless of the need. Also, in Section 215, civil liberties groups like this section because it allows investigators to obtain any tangible things, including books, records, papers, documents, and other items, as long as records are sought in connection with a terror investigation. Our solvency claim is the Patriot Act should be revised to regulate the government's abuse of information sharing. The solution to Section 206 would be a simple change that clarifies that a FISA wiretap order must specify either the target or the facility that would remedy this problem. This means that the surveillance can be set up in advance, but cannot be activated until the officers in charge of the operation have a good sense that the target is actually using a particular telephone or computer. This ascertainment requirement helps ensure a wiretap is turned on only when the target is present, and thereby protect the privacy of innocent users. A solution to Section 203 would be the information should be shared only with those officials who are directly involved in terrorism investigations or analysis. The information that should be shared with the intelligence agencies or the White House or etc. should be limited to information relevant to the terrorism or espionage, rather than all information concerning any foreign contacts, the vast majority of which have nothing to do with terrorism at all. If the information transferred by law enforcement to the intelligence community were limited to foreign intelligence information only. And a solution to Section 215 would be is special protections for for libraries and bookstores. A requirement that investigators explain the reason the records are sought, and an end to the gag rule that prohibits people who receive a Section 215 order from talking about it with anyone. In conclusion, the Patriot Act should be modified to reduce the power of the government.